What is up, good people? It is time for the newest edition of Notes by Notes right here on Facebook and YouTube. I got the crew back in the stew.
Let's go.
K-Dot.
Let's go.
My guy. What's up, bro?
Glad to be back.
Hey, man.
You miss me?
Hell yeah.
You miss me. Yeah.
Hey, man. Glad to see you, bro. Glad to see you. Folks, before we get started, let me tell you about our friends over at A to Z for Skin and Hair. A to Z for Skin and Hair offers a bevy of hair and skin products that have no preservatives and are made with love, like their rice water, which is used to promote healthy, strong growth of the hair and prevent dandruff, their moisturizing hair butter for everyday styling, and their rapid growth, which is a perfect mix of all natural oils. And I can't forget, y'all already know, the Gang Beard Oil, which I put on every single day and right before the show. To contact A to Z for Skin and Hair to find out more about their products, give them a call at 469-674-5567. Once again, that's 469-674-5567. And tell them the crew at Notes by Notes sent you. K-Dot, are you ready for a fire show?
Been waiting for this all month long.
I've been waiting for this moment. I've been waiting. Let's go!
You've heard of hot takes, and you're probably tired of hearing the same old talking heads repeating the same stuff over and over again. The time has come for the game to evolve, and just like in sports, there are a select number of individuals who are leading the evolution of change and pushing the game forward. This isn't just a sports podcast. This podcast is about how life, culture, and sports all meet at one intersection. This is the new wave. This is the new sound. This is the evolution. This is the Notes by Notes podcast, where we discuss life, culture, and sports.
What's up, good people? We are back in the studio. Super happy to be back on the air. K-Dot, how's everything been, man? How has Thanksgiving been? How's the family? What's going on with you?
Fam's good. Turkey was good. Cowboys lost. 2 out of the 3. I'm good with it. But turning things back around. There's a good thing that was brought up too is NFL. We're blessed because we get the Cowboys every year, right?
Yeah.
But if you're not a Cowboys fan, it's not the best matchups. It's not like, so the question is, what's better? NFL on Thanksgiving or Christmas Day basketball? Because basketball, you got the best of the best. Your LeBrons, your Stephs, your KDs. They bring out all the good matchups. So, I'm biased, yes, but NBA on Christmas is the top level talent.
I do love NBA on Christmas because the Dallas Mavericks are starting to get some love on Christmas Day. Mm-hmm. So I enjoy watching some Maverick basketball on Christmas Day. That's phenomenal. But this year, next year, Christmas Day is going to be on a Sunday. So we'll have Christmas Day basketball and we'll have Christmas Day football.
It's like the planets align just right.
Perfectly.
This is what we've been training for, Jay.
So
this is what we've been training for. Exactly. How'd your kids, how'd your wife, and take Monday off? Shit's going down.
Yeah, this is exactly what dreams are made of right here. So
it's like, if you don't have 2 TVs in your house or in the living room yet, now's the time.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Well, K-Dot, I'm happy to have you back, bro. We couldn't put nobody in there to fill that seat because you're so special to the team. So we appreciate you for being back, man.
Yes, sir.
So, folks, it's time to introduce a new segment. I think we did the segment before, but we didn't really give it a grand announcement on the last show that we did. But we have a new segment called Heat Check. So me and K-Dot are going to break down a few topics before we hop into the meat and potatoes of this week's edition of Notes by Notes. K-Dot, are you ready for a heat check?
Let's get it.
Heat check!
Hot.
All right, so over this past weekend, it was championship weekend in college football. We saw a lot of good games. My favorite game was Michigan versus Iowa because Michigan came out and did what they were supposed to do. Mm-hmm. But not only that, since that does mark the end of the college football season, that means that awards were given out. And the Heisman Trophy finalists were released. You have quarterback C.J. Stroud out of Ohio State, quarterback Bryce Young out of Alabama, Kenny Pickett out of Pittsburgh, and the pass rusher from the Big Blue, Aiden Hutchinson, named your 4 final Heisman candidates. And Kelly, I got to tell you, number one, let's get this out the way. Kenny Pickett's fake slide in that championship game, I don't care what nobody says. It was genius at the moment.
That's some N1 mixtape shit. Like that was smooth.
But he wasn't down. He didn't give himself up. He wasn't falling. It looked like he tripped more than anything.
And I see the complaint Ryan Clark brought up. It can lead to some injuries, some targeting. I can see how that could be a bad move. But first time never seen that before. Reminds me back in the days when Dion would fake taking a knee on a kickoff or a punt.
Oh, yeah.
Run that shit back 104 yards.
Hey, man, you got to have some type of mystery to what's going on as a quarterback.
Yeah.
But these 4 guys being named to this list, I honestly and truly think. And this is kind of what's happening to the sport of college football. We're starting to get a lot more variety, and we're not seeing the same thing transposed each and every year. I like the 4 finalists here. You got 3 quarterbacks and an edge rusher who really deserves it. And Kenny Pickett has been playing phenomenal all year. Bryce Young has been stellar, and he has been poised carrying this Alabama team to the number 1 seed for the college football playoff. And C.J. Stroud, even though they lost to Michigan, he started off the season rough, but he came back in the latter part of the season and performed really, really solid. So, K-Dot, how does the 4 names here, how does that land for you? What are you thinking with this?
I think it's pretty typical. You say variety. I mean, there's still 3 quarterbacks. And as unfortunate as it is, a quarterback has his hands on the ball every time the offense is on the field, right? So they can directly and impact the game more than any other player. Mm-hmm. So to take it away from any one of those 3 guys, Hutchinson would have to be just outlandish. I don't see him impacting the game the way that Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud have, right?
Yeah.
Now he's good, yes, but I mean, is he Jadeveon Clowney? Is he that dominant? Is he a shoe-in first overall pick? I don't see it.
Well, here's the thing about Jadeveon Clowney. That's a good comparison for sure, but I don't think as athletic and as explosive.
Clowney basically had his whole career made on one play, and the reason I bring that up because you talked about Pickett with a fake slide. Like, is that his? That play is his, highlight reel.
Yeah.
For pick me for Heisman. Same as Clowney. Clowney like that, like a bear, just picking his cub up and just.
Oh, dude, that hit was gruesome. Like, I remember watching it. I was like, oh my God, that dude is not alive right now. That's what I thought.
Even people I don't like football. Watch this. God damn!
You got knocked out.
World star.
Well, I will tell you this. What the great part about Aiden Hutchinson is, number 1, he has the size. Number 2, he has a motor. The story on him before the Big Ten championship game was phenomenal. He was injured during the 2020 season, or he got injured during the 2020 season. But this kid here, 14 sacks in the Big Ten. Mm-hmm. That's pretty good. Especially with the offensive line recruits that all of the teams have. 14 sacks.
That whole conference is corn-fed.
Yeah.
Their front foot, that's a bad place to be.
Dude, 14 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, no interceptions, but 33 solo tackles. But I couldn't imagine how many positive plays he had, not only for the defensive line, but also for the linebackers and that defense in a entirety.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Impact is huge. We talk about Heisman. The Heisman isn't about who the most valuable player is. It's really about which player is most impactful. And when we talk about Aiden Hutchinson and what he was to that defense, in my opinion, he was the most impactful. And he helped lead this Michigan team to a college football playoff appearance for the first time in Jim Harbaugh's tenure. And I think that that's vitally important. Remember, Jim Harbaugh has struggled to beat Ohio State for the past 6 seasons.
Yeah.
Aiden Hutchinson is a reason why. Hassan Reddick Hassan Reddick, I think that's his name. I can't remember the running back's name, but he's really good.
Yeah.
But I think Hutchinson is one of those game-changing type of players. And honestly, when we talk about the Heisman, it's all about impact. It's not about most valuable.
Yeah.
And Aiden Hutchinson has been really impactful. Now, when we talk about Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud, I don't think necessarily they have been impactful. I think that they have had some impactful plays. But at the end of the day, C.J. Stroud almost made it to the college football playoff because of who? Ryan Day. Bryce Young is in the college football playoff and kind of got over that hump, beat Georgia because of who? Nick Saban.
Well, okay, but he went in against the unquestionable best defense in the country and had his way with them.
Against Georgia?
Yeah. They whooped Georgia's ass, and Georgia's defense was scary. You did not know, none of us had Alabama pick going into that game.
That's true.
So I wasn't a Bryce Young fan and wouldn't have made a bid for him until that game. That game put him in the running, and I think made him the favorite, honestly.
Yeah.
Because Bama, it was finally a year, after all the talent they lost the last couple of years, Bama's not going to make it to the playoff.
Yeah.
And now they're number 1 again. No one picked that. And on the biggest stage, he stepped up.
I mean, okay, you definitely have a point there. I have to agree.
Yeah.
But his impact was it was still kind of close to Alabama. The score doesn't indicate what truly happened.
Right.
But Michigan and Aiden Hutchinson literally beat up Iowa.
Yeah.
Who had 3 top 10 wins this year. Beat them up 42-3. They blew them out convincingly. And that defense held that offense to 3 points. Yeah. I mean, say what you want. Alabama couldn't, to a degree, had trouble with Georgia's offense late.
Yeah.
This team handily defeated Iowa in the Big Ten championship. And then the week before that, they beat Iowa State to even have a shot to be in the CFP.
Ohio State.
You
said Iowa. You said Iowa State.
Oh, the Ohio State. Sorry. I didn't mean to say Iowa. The Ohio State University.
You know why they call themselves that, right? And why they're allowed to.
It's a trademark.
There's 2 Ohio State universities. So the Ohio State, so when they say it, there's some leverage behind that.
Oh, I got you. Okay, I understand.
When somebody else like the Texas, shut up, A&M. No.
Yeah, the Texas A&M. No. Just be quiet. Just be quiet. A&M is garbage. We already know what that is. Yeah. We already know what that is.
I just had to throw that in there. No real reason. No way relevant to the conversation.
Look, just throw it out in the road, Kelly.
Kiss my ass, A&M.
Forget you, A&M. Even though your record was better than ours, it doesn't matter. Texas is on; it's resurgent.
You can say whatever you want. They don't have Wi-Fi out there. It's good.
But I digress. But also, we talked about Kenny Pickett to a degree. Kenny Pickett is a special player. Kenny Pickett put on a stellar season, 4,319 passing yards, 42 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions with a QBR of 81.5, which ranked 7th amongst all college quarterbacks. That's pretty impressive. 42 touchdowns, and Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud, not so much. He didn't throw for over 40 touchdowns, but Young and Kenny Pickett did. So at the end of the day, when we're talking about this, in my opinion, I think Aiden Hutchinson, I would love to see a defensive end get the Heisman. I would love to see it. Last player to do it, defense?
Defensive end?
Nope, just defense.
Oh, I'm going to guess, and this is a long shot. Does it go as far back as Woodson?
Charles Woodson, 1999. For the Big Blue.
Yep, got it.
Yeah. So maybe Aiden Hutchinson becomes the second defensive player and the second defensive player from Michigan to win the Heisman Trophy.
You know the only defensive player in the Super Bowl era to win MVP in the NFL? I'll give you one hint. Cocaine.
It's not Deion.
Nah. Lawrence Taylor.
Lawrence Taylor, that's right.
LT.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was 86 or 87 NFL MVP.
I didn't even. I'm like, oh. I'm like, who? All right. So real quick before we move on to the meat and potatoes of this show, thank you all for tuning in to this edition, the 13th edition of Notes by Notes Season 3, or 12th edition of Notes by Notes Season 3. Golly, I gotta get my numbers right. So Kenyon Drake went viral not only for the injury he sustained on Sunday, but also because he believes that after his injury, that a specific rule should be changed regarding how some defenders tackle below the knees. And Kenyon Drake is out for the rest of the season. This was a result of an injury caused by a defensive player. Me and Kelly looked at the play prior to the show, and I kind of want to get Kelly's thoughts on this because, honestly, I believe when we're talking about Kenyon Drake, we can't forget the fact that Kenyon Drake always has spurts, and no dispersions here, but what's fact is fact. What has happened. But he has big spurts, and then he ends up injured in the latter part of the season, whether it's been for Arizona, whether it's been for Miami, whether it's been for any team that he's played with, Cleveland, I think.
Yeah.
So how does this land for you?
Fake news. It's unfortunate, yeah, but you play a full contact sport and you get tackled and things happen. People roll up on one another. It doesn't look, after reviewing and kind of looking it over between the two of us, doesn't look like there's any intent or anything you can prove to throw a flag, right?
Right.
So I mean, it's just physics of the game. It's unfortunate when you watch anything in slow motion, it looks a lot worse than it is. Not much you can do about it. It's one thing for a defenseless player, a quarterback, kind of standing back in the pocket. I get that, but as a running back, people running full speed, things like this happen. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying fake news. All respect to Kenyon Drake. Hate seeing him get injured, second time now, season ending. But, that's just the game they play.
Yeah. I mean, it really is football. I mean, at the end of the day, it's get the guy down to the ground by any means.
Yeah.
Of course, within the rules.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of hard. Like you said, it's a full contact sport. When you're going 100 miles per hour, it's kind of hard to slow down and just really just pre-calculate how you're going to hit someone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why you see a lot of shoulder bumps in the NFL now, because there's not a lot of guys who's just going to straight up wrap you up.
Yeah.
Unless it's a linebacker or a defensive end trying to sack a quarterback. But what this kind of reminds me of is the pass interference. Do you remember when once upon a time ago you could challenge a pass interference?
Yeah, that didn't last long.
No,
because the refs never overturned it. Because in some ways I agree with that. Because when everything comes down to speculation, and you can argue every call, it kind of takes away the speed, the flow, and the fun of the game. There is some human error involved, right? That's a big thing. A lot of old heads when it comes to baseball.
Yeah,
they refuse to do the electronic strike zone because there is some human error to that, and pitchers learning how to pay the corners just right, and you got to have some of that. And the calls go both ways, but when you get down to critiquing and questioning every single call, at that point, why do you have referees? Just do it all upstairs, everything, instant replay, and call it down. So will it get to that point? It feels that way. I mean, because now we're looking at people getting tackled, and you're mad that someone got tackled, or you're mad that someone tackled you in football. Yeah. It's beyond me.
Well, and we got about 2.5 minutes left on this segment, but real quick, why I love the XFL so much. I'm throwing out an XFL plug for all you listeners. XFL. It's coming back 2023. I cannot wait. I am ecstatic. But what the XFL was so great at and why I love the XFL is because whenever they threw a penalty flag, there was a small deliberation period. Then after that, let them play.
Yeah.
So XFL games range anywhere in between 2.5 hours to about 2 hours and 35 minutes.
Okay.
So that's the issue with the NFL. And if you create something else like the flow, messing up the flow, you're no longer going towards, hey, let's call this and move off of it. It's more like, all right, we're deliberating about catches. We're deliberating about pass interference penalties. We're deliberating about, hey, how did this guy attack? Look at college football.
Look at the NBA.
The targeting thing. Oh, definitely.
I don't want to watch free throws all game.
Yeah, taunting in the NFL is terrible. Terrible.
It's terrible, Ken. It's terrible.
Terrible. Hey, why don't you just shut up over there, Shaq? Why don't you shut up over there, Chuck? I don't even want to listen to you right now. No, I think that was good Shaq right there. But yeah.
Can you cross your eyes for me a little bit? There it is. Look,
Chuck. I don't even want to talk about it right now, Chuck. My son should read to go to LSU. But yeah, man, like I really think that, rules are good, structure is great, but when you start making rules for things that necessarily don't require rules, it definitely messes up the flow of the overall game. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I really and truly think that it's unfortunate what happened to Kenyon Drake. You actually kind of changed the way I saw it before, because I actually got to see more of the play. But really, it's just it's football. It happens.
It's unfortunate, but it's not illegal. It's not penalty worthy. It's just bad luck of the draw. I mean, the same thing could be said for Dak's injury when he broke his leg. I mean,
that was gruesome. Mm-hmm. That was terrible.
We can talk about it now because he's got 2 working legs and everything's good.
Yeah, it hurt my heart to see my quarterback. That's my quarterback. Hurt my heart to see my quarterback like that.
Every time I eat popcorn now, I think about T.O. He ruined popcorn for me.
Oh man, I love it. But dog, T.O. was a great Cowboy. I'm sorry, nobody can deny it.
As somebody that you love when he's on your team, any other team,
you hate him. You hate him. I remember we played for the Eagles. I hated him.
And the Niners.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't have to see him much with the Niners. We just had to see him a lot with the Eagles for 2-3 years, and that was too much. It was too much. That's enough. That is enough. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into the meat and potatoes of this show. This episode specifically is called Millions or Loyalty. I put over, it's or loyalty ? Millions or loyalty. And the reason why I put the question mark there is because when we're talking about college football, K-Dot, it's kind of hard I can't speak right now. I'm tongue-tied.
Use your words.
Oh, my God, to separate.
Guys, hold on one second. He's loading.
He's loading.
He's buffering right now. Give him a second. And we're back.
But it's kind of hard to separate the two. So these coaches have a right to say, hey, I want to go and take a better opportunity and make a better opportunity or get a better opportunity for my family, per se, right? Just like these college students do. But at a point, when does millions become more important than loyalty?
Immediately.
I'm glad you came through with that.
For every extra zero you add to that check, loyalty to who? What kind of good old boy bullshit is that?
Yeah.
Like, unless it's your alma mater or your kids or wife like the town you're living in, the only person you're loyal to is number one, your immediate family, right?
Yeah.
That's it. So, I mean, these kids come and go, so you're not loyal to the kids either.
Yeah.
You get a recruiting class, they're gone in for a couple of years. Loyalty? Your best talent's going to sit out their junior year so they can go to the draft early. There's no loyalty here. It's all a matter of money, right? So, I mean, maybe loyal to a culture, but, I mean, what, you don't owe anybody anything as a coach, right? To the boosters. So, when it comes down to Lincoln and Kelly making the moves they did, who can possibly blame them? Furthermore, Oklahoma or Southern California?
Yeah.
As far as just, quality of life and where you live, I mean, It's a no-brainer.
I mean, that's true. Would you rather be on a beach in L.A. or in a barn, a ranch-style home?
Well, and let me go and say,
Norman?
Oklahoma, all offense intended there.
Thank you, please.
Yeah, so
Please, do.
I got A&M and OU covered. All right, good night. I'm
There we
out.
go. Good night. All right, that's it for this week.
Got to figure out a way to plug those in real quick. We're good.
I mean, I don't have an issue with why Riley left. I have an issue with the way he did leave. And I'm going to be kind here. I'm going to be kind to our friends across the Red River here. Because, most of the time they're not.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be kind. He definitely, he should have handled it a little bit better. Because when they asked him, hey, how soon did this thing come together? He said, it literally happened right after the Big 12 championship game. Give me a break. Give me a break. A phone call talking about millions does not take 5 hours to discuss. Honestly, in my opinion, especially how this thing works as a business, your agent has to be in constant communication with the AD, trying to negotiate something.
Okay, but are you that upset with the white lie? That's the answer you're supposed to give.
I'm not upset with the white lie, but these kids also, I mean, just look at the slew of kids that are transferring out of Oklahoma University. I love it. I love it.
Okay, on the same token, do these kids come to Lincoln and let him know, like, hey, by the way, I'm dipping out before my senior year? Did they give him that courtesy? Nah.
They don't. But also there's skin. There's also, so number one, I think Riley has more skin in the game. And what I mean by that is you have recruits that believe that you are going there. So there was a quarterback recruit, Malachi Nelson, I believe. He opted out of going to Oklahoma because he wanted to go with Lincoln Riley. You are going to have players like that. There's nothing wrong with that. But what about your other recruits? What about the other people that you recruited by name to come to Oklahoma? They don't have spots out at USC. So you take away the benefit of them being able to play for the coach that they want to be able to play for, and them saying, no, I want to go pursue a professional career, are two different things.
But at the end of the day, he still got him the exposure of going to a very prestigious program, not as prestigious as UT, but a very prestigious program, and he got them a spot, right? Whether he's there or not, he got them in the door, right?
Yeah.
He picked them, hand-selected, and they got a spot now.
Yeah.
So whether he's there or not, he did his part.
I agree. I do agree. I agree. But also, there's a way to do things, I believe. But also, why you got to tell a white lie? You're out of there. If you're out of there, you can tell the truth. Who cares?
It's the nice thing to do. Did you see his conference they had?
It was terrible.
The most awkward.
It was cringeworthy, yo.
Oh, man.
I was like, yo, he should have stayed in Norman. I mean, like, yo, y'all are weird out here in LA.
He's like, man, even rednecks don't pull shit like this. Like, what is going on?
Well, you know what? I believe Lincoln Riley is going to fit in well in California because you saw that Easter brisket he made in April.
No.
Oh, dude, it was burnt, like dry, like leather. Yeah, he's going to fit in well in L.A.
Yeah.
He's going to fit in very well with the vegans. No offense, aliens.
He doesn't like meat because he can't cook it right.
Well, he's also, here's another thing. What's going to happen to this Oklahoma program? I think this Oklahoma program is in store for a slow start under Brent Venables.
They went from Stoops to Lincoln Riley seamlessly.
Yeah, this is not seamless.
Stoops is a great coach, but they'll bounce back. I mean, they have the notoriety. Furthermore, they're going to the SEC soon. So I think you let the new coach kind of help with the transition, maybe wrap up their remaining years in the Big 12, but they'll get the talent. It's just a matter of time.
Do I sound like a hater when I say that I don't believe that?
Not at all. No. If you said, I hope that's not true,
yeah,
or
that would be a hater,
yeah,
right?
But you don't have to believe it. You just can't root for it, right? Like I feel like they'll come back around full circle. But I mean, on the same token, they were actually blessed to have go from one good coach to the next.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen that often. Look at the amount of bad hires. I wouldn't say bad hires. Unsuccessful hires UT's had consecutively.
That's true, but I believe that it was all best available hires with Strong. That was best available. I don't think they could have got anything better at that time. Also,
Right.
Tom Herman as well was best available. Matt Campbell wasn't there. Like, nobody was there for the picking. Major Applewhite doesn't have the best head coaching record. I mean, there's nobody who they could have said, hey, after Mac retired, come take this mantle. It was just nobody.
And honestly, Mac Brown wasn't that great of a coach. I'll say it. They won that championship in spite of him, not because of him. That team was loaded with NFL talent.
I don't know if I agree
Vince
with
Young
that.
put it on his back. No, he had a lot of other talent in other years, and in all of his tenure, he got one ring to show for it. And they had the recruits there for a while. Is he good? Yes, but I think Stoops is a better coach.
I think Stoops is definitely a better coach than Mac Brown, 100%. Because who's coaching and who's not right now? Who went into the College Football Hall of Fame and who's not?
Yeah.
I mean, Stoops is definitely better than Mac Brown. More national championships than I believe than him. No, they actually both have one. I think Stoops has won the Big 12 more than Mac Brown did.
Yeah, heads up. The easy. Mac Brown is bitch.
Yeah. I mean, Stoops has definitely been like that guy. But I don't know, man. So when I look at, and the reason why I disagree about OU just coming back, like, instantly. OU for the past 5-6 years has been the place where Heisman or transfer quarterbacks go to win a Heisman.
Yeah.
Think about Baker Mayfield. Who was there to put that in place, to implement that type of culture? Lincoln Riley. So when you put a Venables there, you may not get the best quarterback to play for your team. You see what I'm saying? Each and every year that Oklahoma was good, they had the best quarterback in the Big 12.
I don't think in the Big 12, okay.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
It's all about the Big 12 right now because that's all we can really play within is the conference.
and it's not necessarily even the best quarterback. It's the best utilization of a already good quarterback. They were not being used correctly. I mean, is Baker the best quarterback in the Big 12 at the time? That's debatable. He had
He
the best
was.
season. Yeah.
He was. There was nobody close. No, Texas definitely didn't have anyone close.
No.
Sam was just getting to that point to where we were like, okay, Sam's going to be great. But
So Sam's one of those like, hey, so you play quarterback? I mean, I can. It's like,
I mean, yeah, like quarterback bootleg on 4th and 1. I'm
Yeah,
your guy.
I got you.
It's like, God damn, Herman, why you keep on doing that? That's what grinding my gears about Herman. But I digress. But I just, when you look at Oklahoma, and Venables is a good defensive coach. He's a defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
He could get the best defensive player in the Big 12, 100%. But when you don't have a quarterback, we saw it with Texas. We saw it with a number of different programs in college football. When you don't have a quarterback, it doesn't matter what type of coach you are. It doesn't matter what system and scheme and culture you bring. If you don't have a quarterback, you're not going to be good. That's what happened with Texas today, this year.
yeah.
Texas, and the problem with Texas is that we never have a next man up in the quarterback room. We haven't. Since Chris Sims to Vince Young, it seamlessly, like you said. In the 2000s, Chris Sims, before that, Major Applewhite,
Yep.
Chris Sims, Vince Young, Colt McCoy.
Yeah.
After that, what? Nothing. And then it took us seven years to get to Sam.
And Sam's not the guy.
He's not that. In my opinion,
he's
he
all right.
captured the identity of the Texas football program, which is what our great quarterbacks have done. The team around him wasn't that great.
Identity of the program, meaning underachieving and only winning 8 games, that's what they become. So
Yeah.
Identity is so far removed at this point. I mean, Colt, I'm still mad about Colt because I hate nothing more than the what if, right?
Yeah.
If Colt's not hurt, did we win that game?
We won that national championship game.
Even if
We were up
don't-
14-0.
Even if we don't, I want to see it play out.
Yeah.
Man,
If we can, I wish there was like a college football Disney Plus series called What If in College Football. That would be great. That'd be amazing. Put it together, Disney. Kevin Feige.
pros too.
Yeah, Pros too. What if Kevin Dyson got one more inch and won the Super Bowl for the Tennessee Titans?
And then Kurt Warner never gets a Super Bowl, and he's probably not having a movie made about him right now.
Yep, exactly. Yep. A lot of what ifs there. Definitely.
Biggest what if of all time is still Bo Jackson, because we saw what he could do, but just a taste of it. Imagine him playing in either league for a decade.
Oh, dude, he would have been phenomenal. 100%.
Terrifying.
So we talked about Lincoln Riley's departure. Brian Kelly's departure had to be one of the most awkward departures I've ever seen in college football. The most awkward. Like, not only did he leave via text, he texted his players like, "Yo, bro, I'm out."
The only thing worse is like ghosting them, just not showing up to work one day. And
Yeah.
you find out, like,
It's
what?
like, bro, where did he go? But also he put on that fake country accent at the basketball game when he was introduced. Did you see that?
Yeah.
It was bad. I mean, that's like it. Like, we're from the South. You know, if you go up north, they'll probably be like, "Yo, you have a accent and it's strong." That's not it. That's not the accent we have. What's up, y'all? Me and my family.
It's like, what movie are you watching?
Yeah.
You get like a season 2 of Duck Dynasty and use that? Like, fuck out of here.
I don't know. It's like he dug up research on Baton Rouge, Louisiana as quick as he could. I mean, and just started, "Hey, y'all, I'm so happy to be here." It's like, bruh, that's not how we talk. That's not how Southern folks talk.
Well, okay, what's more difficult to follow along with, though? Him trying to pull off a Southern accent or Ed's actual accent? That dude was hard to understand. That's a coon ass. That's like from the deep swamps.
Go Tigers. Go Tigers.
That guy was born to be a coach for LSU at least at some point in his life.
Yeah, for real. It's like any reporter, they say, "So, Coach Orgeron, what did you think about that come from behind victory?" Go Tigers. Go Tigers. Man. But, I mean, so Brian Kelly going to LSU, though, what does that really mean for this program? I mean, I think it definitely, I mean, despite the bad, country accent, I think it actually does, it will pay dividends for their recruiting. I honestly do. I think that they'll start to reel in more players. I mean, especially with the NIL deals. Look, for what it is worth, Brian Kelly took 2 of his teams to the college football playoffs at Notre Dame. Mm-hmm. He's a winning head coach. He wins about 10 to 11 games a year. And he's bringing that to LSU.
Honestly, I'm curious, though, because are his stats in any way skewed? By that, I mean Notre Dame plays no one. On a regular basis, they play no one. I'm not saying he's not a good coach. What I'm saying is we'll see how good he is in the SEC. It's good to be a big fish in a small pond. That's great. That's fun. Central Florida, Cincinnati, guys like that, go undefeated for a season. That's great.
Yeah.
Can he hold it up in the SEC? So I'm curious how this plays out. I mean, you're right. He's going to bring recruits because it is a name.
Yeah.
Because whether they're good or not, Notre Dame, because of Rudy, will always be prestigious for whatever reason.
Rudy is the worst football movie ever. I hate it. I don't like Rudy whatsoever.
Worst? Ooh, wait, what? Man, you hate what?
I don't like Rudy, bro.
It's better than Invincible.
Yes, it's better than Invincible.
It's not the worst ever.
I just can't. Rudy, he gets one sack. One sack. One measly sack.
I mean, it's more than we got.
Hey, I got a few in high school. I played football.
We're talking Notre Dame.
Yeah, you're right.
But, okay, what's the best football movie of all time?
Oh, no. Friday Night Lights, 100%. Oh, no. Any Given Sunday.
That's the most real.
Yeah,
that movie gets dark.
Real. That movie is great. So
you're taking both of those over Little Giants.
I love Little Giants.
There it is.
Yeah, it's probably it's definitely top 3.
Annexation of Puerto Rico.
So get this. Brian Kelly actually had stints at Grand Valley State, and then he went to Central Michigan, then he went to Cincinnati, and then he went to Notre Dame. get this. In each of his stops, he's made his teams much better. 9-3 first year at Grand Valley State. Last year at Grand Valley State, 9-3. Let's see. Central Michigan started 4-7, left 9-4. Cincinnati was the interim head coach, 1-0. And then at Cincinnati, he only lost 6 games, 34-6. And then you go to Notre Dame, 92-39. 92-39. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. So what LSU is getting, they're getting a coach who knows how to build a winning culture. And like I said, despite how he left, even with Lincoln Riley, I mean, if you ask me, if you really ask me, which job is going to be harder, I think Riley's is going to be a little bit harder.
I disagree for one reason. The expectations are lower. The SEC, they expect you to win and win now. SC hasn't been good since Pete Carroll was there.
Yeah.
They haven't been prominent. They haven't in no way been a factor. Had moments here and there, sure. But I think anything is better than what they've been dealing with previously. So I think because you can come in and you can see, immediate and dramatic improvement, that's an easier gig. Whereas LSU was a national champion 2 years ago. So mediocrity will not be in any way tolerated in LSU. Whereas USC, winning 8 games, it's a good start, right? A couple of years you have time to kind of work through that. And also, I think they understand, too, with his style of offense, the amount of recruits you have coming out of California, these guys, position players are going to want to play for someone like Lincoln Riley.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks, receivers, backs. It's going to be a fast, high-octane offense, very reminiscent of Urban Meyer's Gators back in the day, where you had like 5 guys on one side of the ball.
Percy Harvin.
They ran a 4-3 or better.
Aaron Hernandez.
The guys were fast, and I think you see that you'll see that kind of recreated in at SC. It also makes me curious too with the move. What's going on with the that conference? Are they going to try and do a rebuild and kind of beef up a bit? Because why would you walk away from the SEC knowing the amount of money, notoriety, exposure you're about to get? There's got to be something else going because I think they have to compete in some ways with the SEC. The Big 12, I don't think it has much longer.
No, the Big 12 is going to be fine. I think they got their schools that they need to sustain what they have. I don't think it's going to grow. I think the expectation for the Big 12 is going to drop immensely. Yeah. And I think most of that is going to be focused on the SEC, where we will see a 12-team playoff eventually, a 12-team playoff, and you'll have a medley of teams. And I really think this is how it's going to go. I think SEC, then I think Big 10. Then after Big 10, depending on how well the ACC can be and the Pac-12 can be, they'll be the third option, and the Big 12 will be more like a group of 5.
Yeah.
No longer a Power 5. Because they don't really have, I hate to say it, the household names besides Cincinnati. I mean, if Cincinnati wins the national championship this year, that's the only team that they will have.
The fact that they're even in it, the amount of money that's going to generate for the school and recruiting going forward, this is huge for Cincinnati.
Yeah.
They can go and get blown out. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
They're put on that stage now. This is going to speak volumes for them.
Yeah.
I'm happy for them. But as far as the Big 12 and how that plays out, I'm kind of curious if they are still in any way legitimate. Maybe part of the Big 5. I don't know though. I'm honestly curious if it dissolves because you lost your 3 biggest candidates as far as revenue.
Yeah, that's true. A&M was gone first, and then you lost Texas, and you're losing Oklahoma.
What do you build from now? What Baylor? Let's
not get it twisted. Baylor, football, basketball, they're good for the Big 12.
Brittany Griner, RG3,
They've put out some athletes. They have won some Big 12 championships, at least in in basketball. Most recently in football, I think the last time that they did, or it was this year. So they won the Big 12 this year, and then the last time they did it was with RG3. So, I don't by any means think that the Big 12 is going anywhere. I just think that the significance of them being a Power 5 conference is going to drop dramatically because of how loaded the SEC will be. It's 16 teams.
And even your other conferences have some, at least some top heavy, sure, but has some reputable schools. I mean, the Pac-12 does have USC. ACC has Florida State and Clemson. So whether the conference as a whole isn't that solid, they have at least, like big money makers.
Yeah.
UT and OU leaving, like who's in charge now?
Yeah, Baylor would be the top probably.
West Virginia has their moments.
Yeah, they do, but
see exactly like all the teams, the face you made, every team in that conference is like, yeah.
That's why I say they're more group of five now. I mean, again, the importance of winning the conference for the Big 12 will never have or carry the importance of winning the SEC once Texas and OU gets to the SEC because of how loaded that conference is. So, I mean, it will be viable, but it's not going to be like CFP viable. It's going to be all right. They're going to make their coins. They're going to be okay. But competing for a national championship, unless you are Cincinnati, not going to happen. Because now that Cincinnati has made it into the playoff, they are a program to look out for in the future.
Yeah.
So now that they have done that, the CFP committee is going to be like, yo, if they're good, hey, why not consider Cincinnati? Versus SMU, who's undefeated or whatever it may be, hypothetically speaking, by the way. They're not going to get any nods or any consideration. So, honestly, I just think the Big 12 is going to be good. So, honestly, Kelly, this offseason or going into the offseason, in my opinion, has been one of the most busiest off seasons leading into bowl season. And I got to say, it's creating a ton of storylines, of a ton of parody. It's giving us moments of shock and awe. It's doing things to me as a college football fan that I have not felt in a very, very, very long time. And I truly love, despite how they left, I just love the moves that are being made.
Yeah.
Because now it's not just it's shaping what college football will be in the future. Like before, it was kind of transposed each and every year, right? You had Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, a fourth, Oklahoma. And then it would be Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, Georgia. It's like it was so repetitive. And it got old over time.
It feels like in a lot of ways, because you can't really compare players. They have such a short shelf life in the NCAA. So players being moved, we don't really notice as much. Usually it's a backup wanting to go somewhere else to start. Like Baker Mayfield, we didn't know he left Texas Tech. We weren't really paying attention until now he's a stud at Oklahoma and winning the Heisman. So the best thing to compare it to is looking back at, like, remember when Kevin Durant went to the Warriors?
Oh, dude.
Everyone lost their damn minds,
yeah,
rightfully so.
Everybody went crazy.
That's the magnitude of this.
Yeah.
Right? That kind of, or Tom Brady going to the Bucks.
The Bucks, yeah, that was a big moment.
These are very high-profile coaches at very high-profile and prominent, successful programs going to another equal or even more successful program.
Yeah.
So it's one thing you look. Your first thought is, it's just a coach, but coaches run the show in college.
Run the show, make the most money too.
They're the constant. Players come and go, and end of the day, until Nick Saban's retired, everyone's playing for second place, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be tough for any coach to really just take the seat of or the throne that Nick Saban currently holds right now. But yeah, man, I love it. And honestly, the only thing I don't like about all this movement is the transfer portal. I think they need to tighten that up a little bit more.
Yeah,
because players should have the freedom to go wherever they want to go. But you can't just stop in the middle of the season and be like, I'm going into a transfer portal.
That's where it gets tricky, because you cannot treat student athletes different than regular students. Because
that's true.
If you look at it like, hey, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go be a lawyer.
That's a solid
They have
point.
a better school over there.
Yeah.
So when you start doing that, then it starts to interfere with the fact that they're going to college. This is not a business.
Yeah.
They can do whatever they want, because they, at the end of the day, scholarship or not, are paying, whether be it their physical attributes as an athlete or money out of pocket to go to that school. So they should be able to come and go as they please.
Yeah. You got a point there. I have to accept that. You do have a point. I will say.
Can you imagine though, like if you were like, at school and wanted to I want to drop this and go to another school, and they said no because student athletes can't do it, neither can you.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, so now it becomes more of a business than they let.
Well, it is a business.
Not for the students though.
I mean, not for the students, but I mean they invest in the business, so they pay for tickets, they pay for parking, at least with their tuition or whatever it may be. I mean, the students understand that this is a business. That's why they are okay with the fact that student athletes are held up on a little bit higher of a pedestal than they are.
But as long as I'm paying you to go to school there,
yeah,
and doing you justice by performing as an athlete, you don't tell me when I can come and go.
I don't know, man.
I'm
like,
if you want to,
you need to finish out the season. If you start just like a student, right? You want to keep things fair. If you were to enroll, you started out the fall semester as a student athlete, you should have to compete the entirety of the regular season. You can't just leave.
Are you paying me?
Are you paying me? Well, NIL deals is not exact payroll from the college.
But you tell me I can't leave. Are you paying me?
No.
I'm paying you, right?
Yeah.
And you tell me I can't leave. In what world? Nah.
I mean, honestly, I guess I'm just old school.
Well, it is a matter of right and wrong. Going back to the loyalty we discussed previously, sure. But at 18, 19, and looking out for number one, rest of your future, nah.
I mean, it's the name of the game is tape, film. You want to go past this level.
Right.
So, I mean, commitment is everything. You know what I'm saying? Commitment is everything. Actually, what's the word that they use when they announce what school they're going to? I'm committed. So if you're committed to the fulfillment of this season. I don't have an issue with you leaving after this season if that's what you want to do. But if you're suiting up, you need to finish out. I can't bring in another player that quick and play. So how can you leave so quickly and leave me with, 5 people at your position? I mean, yeah, you recruit all these players, but what is the true depth? I mean, you got to think about some red shirt players too.
That's a you problem, not a me problem.
That's true. I love the rebuttals.
As a coach, you're getting paid $8 million a year?
Yeah.
Figure it out. I'm gonna go play football.
That's true. That is true. You get paid to make decisions and strategize.
You literally get paid to recruit a team.
Yeah.
That's your job. So you figure it out with your $8 million salary. I'm taking my broke ass up the street to play for a better program.
I prefer the bowl opt-outs over players being able to enter the transfer portal in the middle of the season.
And the bowl opt-out, I think, really became more prominent. Who is it?
Leonard Fournette. He was the first one to say, I'm not doing it.
But wasn't that in light of Jalen Smith? Jalen Smith.
After Jalen Smith, the year before that,
in the bowl game.
Yep.
Wrecked his knee.
Mm-hmm. And Leonard Fournette was like, nope, and he took out a insurance policy.
Yeah.
Right before he declared for the draft.
And wasn't it Portis, too, was a bowl game when Portis wrecked his knee?
Oh, yeah, Portis was a bowl game.
Yeah.
It definitely was a bowl. Oh, Clinton Portis, that dude was cold.
Yeah, he was. Man, that Broncos backfield for years.
It was
Mike
crazy.
Shanahan will grab any dude off the street and get 1,000 yards out of him.
That's
Didn't matter.
so true, bro. That's so true. But, yeah, man, when it comes, I honestly prefer a player to say, all right, I mean, because the bowl is making money. Everybody's making money but the player.
Right.
In a transfer situation, this isn't about money. There is a personal decision. There is something personal going on with you and whoever it may be. Your positional coach, your head coach, your offensive coordinator, your defensive coordinator, somebody. There is some type of issue that is taking place for you to say, all right, I want to leave in the middle of the season. Joshua Moore, prime example for Texas. Mm-hmm. Reports came out. Him and Sark were butting heads in practice. Then he says, no, me and Joshua Moore are good. Come Saturday, Joshua Moore plays. He has 4 drops. Next thing you know, the following week, Joshua Moore is like, I'm done. I'm transferring. Like, what? Here's my question. This is all I'm thinking about. This is for these kids out here that want to play college football or want to play football. Where is your dedication? Where are your I don't want to say this.
Commitments.
Where your commitment? Where are your family jewels, bro? Like, times get hard, you want to pack up and leave? No, finish out, get your credits, transfer at the end of the semester. What's so hard about that? You'll still be able to enroll on time for the spring and play spring ball. There's no cons to it.
Okay, end of the day, though, you want what's best for you in your career, right?
That's true.
If your coach is a dick and you guys aren't seeing eye to eye, there are thousands more in this country and schools everywhere. Why wouldn't you just cut ties and go to the next?
But like my mom used to say, there's always one wherever you go. It does not matter.
But you don't have to deal with that. You have options.
Man, I'm sorry. These college coaches, I don't think that these – well, some. There's been some recent reports about one college coach. I don't want to really quote anything about it because I haven't really read into it, but I just read the headline and some of the sub. But most college coaches aren't really there to antagonize you. They're not there. Like high school coaches are completely different from college coaches. Mm-hmm. You know, college coaches want to get the best out of you. They may cuss you out. They may say some stuff, but it's never to a point to where they're attacking you personally.
Right.
They want to see the best come out of you. So it's not my fault. It shouldn't be the coach's fault that the players get butthurt over something that is said and makes them feel all moody and want them and they want to leave. Like, where's your level of commitment?
I see your thing is you're upset kids being soft. At the end of the day,
That's soft. Kobe, soft.
but why are they in any way obligated to stay?
Why are they obligated? They aren't obligated, but also you're obligated to your teammates. That's team 101. You played this sport. You aren't there yet. You have not made it. You are not in the NFL. Until you are not, if you are not in the NFL, you better be a prime example. Tate Martell. Mm-hmm. Number one high school recruit, I believe 2016, 2017.
Yep.
Hasn't touched the field. Why? Commitment issues. There's a number of players who get too far ahead of themselves and end up regretting the decisions that they do to put them in this position to where they can't do what they love anymore. You transfer a lot, you may not play. Yep. Because honestly, you're older, you're a year older. I have this young kid I just recruited, fresh legs, excited about this opportunity. I'm going to start him. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm off my soapbox. That's just I love the movement. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Some players have to go. Some players need to go somewhere.
Yeah.
But not in the middle of the season. It could be before the bowl game. I don't care about the bowl. There's too many bowl games as is already. I don't care about the bowl game.
Question, are coaches allowed to cut players midseason?
No.
No?
I don't think so, unless it's academically. Not in college. You can't get cut in college football like that.
That was an honest question. I know the answer to.
Yeah, I really feel like they can't just cut you unless it's for academic performance. They can't say, you're no good, son, go home. Like, unless you're a walk-on. In that case, yeah. I mean, that's just 3 minutes, Kelly. 3 minutes, K-Dot.
3 minutes left?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're getting pretty close to the end of the show, man. It's crazy. Actually,
that was quick.
It was. But what do they say? They say when you're having fun or time goes by fast when you're having fun. I was about to completely butcher that. All right. Find that out for me because I am interested. We got about 4.5 minutes. We're good.
Okay.
Because I'm interested because I don't believe that you can get cut unless you are a walk-on and you're trying to earn a spot. Even in the event that you are a walk-on, because I walked on at Navarro, it was a class on my schedule.
Well, you can be cut for injuries, not playing well, or just bad luck of being around a coaching change. So if you change coaches, the coach can come in and cut the players. So that changes things.
Well, it doesn't necessarily change things.
If you can come in and cut me, I should be able to quit whenever I want. That becomes a two-way street now.
But how often does a coach come in the middle of a season and cut players? It doesn't happen.
Nick Saban would. If you're not getting with the program, gone.
Lincoln Riley, his first thing, if he would have came in October, what I'm saying is in October, in the middle of the season, a coach cannot come in and say, bye.
They can.
I just found it, Chris. Okay, you found it. I give up. Still.
Thanks, Google.
Still, if you're good enough, you're not getting cut. That's a walk-on player status. Starting players, players who have enough to go into the transfer portal, they have to be good.
So now there's a discrepancy. So now you're deciding between walk-ons or stars. Equal treatment, Jay. The student athletes. The student athletes. It's not a business yet.
I'm asking the question.
You walked into that one.
Oh, man. Great conversation. Hey, man, you know what? Being able to talk college football is always fun. This is our point exactly. This is what it creates. All the movement creates. It creates a bevy of discussion.
Yes.
So, we can have, fun banter, fun debate about these college football topics. So, I mean, hey, man, I'm happy. I'm just happy that we have some parity. We have some variety in college football again.
Yep.
I mean, it's great. So before we get out of here, we wanted to do our fantasy football rankings, and here's how it goes. So number 1, Lamb Chops is in first place with a 10-3 record.
Oof.
Number 2, my beautiful brown sugar, my beautiful bride, Amber Renee Noakes, sitting at the second spot with a 9-4 record.
Okay.
Then at the third spot, the fantasy football team with the 8-5 record.
That lazy ass name still.
Yeah, they didn't hear it.
Man.
And yours truly is in the fourth spot with the 8-5 record. And then my favorite team name at the fifth spot, Country Roads, take my home, sitting at 8-5. And then at the sixth spot, by the way, we'll get to it in a minute. AP's favorite team name, Half Chub. She's not here to chuckle. 7-6 at the sixth spot. Number 7, taking out the Trask. 7-6 at the seventh spot. Jack's Genius Team at the eighth spot. 6-7. At the ninth spot, we got the Jalen Hurts sitting at 6-7. Then at the 10th spot, we got Zach's Crazy Team sitting at 4-9. And then at the 11th spot, we have Dak to the Future sitting at 3-10. Also, if me or my wife wins this fantasy football league, all proceeds go to the family of Josh Davis. R.I.P. R.I.P. Josh. Before we get out of here, we got to give a major shout out to the one and only producer,
the birthday girl.
AP, happy birthday. We miss you here in the studio, and we hope that you're turning up, hitting that swag surf. You know she's a fan of the swag surf. Kelly, you got anything for AP?
Don't forget to drink water. Hydrate. Tomorrow's gonna be hell. You're not 21. It's gonna hurt. One more thing.
Yeah.
2 rather. 1. Rest in peace to Demaryius Thomas.
Yes, rest in peace to Demaryius.
Very unfortunate, unexpected. 33 years old, too young. Bronco Nation. Cheers to you guys tonight. Also, Steph Curry is about to break Ray Allen's record for 3-pointers all time.
Oh, man.
In less than 900 games, Ray hit that record in 1,300 games. It's baffling. And it's more baffling than the stat itself is I saw something. He needs 10 to break it, right? Mm-hmm. As you see that stat, your first thought is he might get it next game. The idea that you understand this dude might drop 10 threes in a game, but knowing he'll get it in the next 2 is baffling.
It's ridiculous.
By the time next week, Steph will be the all-time champion when it comes to 3-pointers. So very exciting.
Man, nice little tidbits to end the show. If you haven't done so, please give us a follow on all platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and also Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. This show will be posted there first thing 10 a.m. on Saturday morning. We appreciate you guys. Also, big time shout out to A to Z for Skin and Hair. Please give them a call at 469-674-5567. Once again, that's 469-674-5567, and tell them the crew at Notes by Notes sent you. Much love to you all. The holidays are approaching. Next week, we have a full crew back in the stew
Say
for
swear.
our
Say swear.
Swear. What?
Okay.
We have a full staff here at the studio next week for our Christmas edition of Notes by Notes. We appreciate you guys. Also, big time shout out to my homie Isaac Miller for providing the voiceover for the introduction. We appreciate you, bro. Hey, we are out of here, people. We will see you guys next week for the 13th episode of Notes by Notes. We are out.
Peace.
Peace.